Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Rivian R2 that has recently been released. This is a $45,000 electric off-roader for the masses. This is an incredible vehicle for Rivian. I've seen this thing on Ville. This is one beautiful vehicle and I'm quite proud of Rivian. I'm proud that I'm an investor in this company. I'm proud that I believed in this company quite long term. This is absolutely amazing. For what they did today, it is highly impressive. I'm starting to understand why Tesla and the CEO Elon Musk is actually worried about Rivian. Rivian reveals its next electric SUV, the R2, a more affordable electric SUV that the company is counting on having a much broader appeal than its stylish and expensive R1T truck and R1S electric SUV. Now, the R2 won't go into production until 2026. When this vehicle does go into production, it will come at an estimated range of 330 miles, a 0 to 60 time for 3 seconds, and a starting price of $45,000, placing it slightly below the current average selling price for a new internal combustion vehicle. This could be even lower if it ends up qualifying for the $7,500 federal tax credit. Given that this vehicle will be built in the United States, I don't see why Rivian will have any problems with this. Now, we fully understand why it's so important for Rivian to make a more affordable vehicle for a broader audience, and it's for Rivian's long-term viability. The company's R1T truck starts at $70,000. That's highly expensive. For the average person, that's just not possible. The Rivian R1S SUV kicks off at $76,000. And once again, it can climb to $88,000 depending on which trim you go for and customizations. Now, as we all know, this is not in the budget of the average person. It's just not possible. So it's clear for some time that Rivian will need to offer vehicles that are less expensive to be successful, to be able to compete with Tesla and other legacy automakers who currently dominate the sales chart for off-roading vehicles, SUV vehicles. For some years now, Rivian has positioned itself as a maker of adventurous vehicles that are ideal for camping and off-roading. And of course, don't get me wrong, Rivian vehicles are also used for practical purposes, everyday purposes. In fact, that's why a lot of people buy these vehicles. It's because it can offer you both options. Now, Rivian understands the market, especially the market within the US. They understand that most of the vehicles that are popular on the road right now, they're trucks, SUVs, that are off-road vehicles that are capable to do those sort of stuff. There are also vehicles that offer towing as well. These vehicles people really find valuable. And more, electric SUVs, slightly larger vehicles, are starting to become more and more popular constantly. Now, in unveiling its plan to put the next vehicle into production, Rivian faces an existential test. The company reported losing $1.58 billion over the last 3 months of 2023. Bringing its net annual loss to $5.4 billion. It also announced plans to lay off 10% of its workforce. Now, here's the key thing. Rivian is actually planning to shut down its office in Normal, Illinois for several weeks to bring improvements to the R1 line, and it will soon break ground on the new $5 billion factory in Georgia. The R2 can't save Rivian on its own, but it will certainly play a major role in keeping the companies afloat. But thankfully, Rivian actually announced more than just one vehicle. They announced the R2, R3, and the R3X. So essentially, Rivian kind of announced 2 or 3 vehicles today. That's actually really incredible. The R2 is 185.6 inches in length. Surprisingly, this is less than 2 inches shorter than the Tesla Model Y, or about 15 inches less than the R1S. Its width is 75 inches, or 84.4 inches with mirrors, and the height is 66.9 inches. There's a substantial trunk, that's a front trunk of course. Rivian describes it as roomy, keeping with the Rivian adventurous identity, I would say. The R2 also features a nifty bike mount system that can connect easily with vehicles' rear accessories. Now, to be honest, seeing this vehicle next to the other Rivian vehicles is actually really good. This vehicle will probably be too large, and it is really large, but at the same time, that's what people are looking for. Rivian is going to find a way to make this vehicle as cheap as possible. But at the same time, it still looks super premium. It still looks super nice. So I've got to give them credit for doing really well at designing these vehicles. And like I said, they did announce 3 vehicles basically. There's the R3, the normal version of the R3. It's quite a beautiful vehicle actually. And it in itself it's almost like an SUV coupe. What Rivian is doing here, I can see something that could be very, very successful. I really like the design of all three vehicles. The R3 is actually surprisingly nice and small, but at the same time, it's there to offer you space, availability, features that you wouldn't normally get in vehicles. The R2 actually comes with this California mode feature where the rear glass can actually be lowered. That's actually really, really cool. I must say, I really love the interior. It's quite a beautiful car, interior and exterior. Something to keep in mind is that the subcompact Rivian R3 shares a platform with the R2 model. That was also revealed today. Its wheelbase is 5 inches shorter. Rivian has revealed the R3 and R3X that will enter the company's lineup in the next few years, likely as 2027 models, while the R2 is coming to the market in delivery in 2026. So let's take a closer look at this vehicle. This is what we're looking at. To be honest, it's not that much different compared to the R1S and R1T. There's not a huge difference at all, especially in size. This is still a very big SUV. And I must say, these animation videos that Rivian has offered is really, really amazing, because this really showcased that this is still a family vehicle. And it's a family vehicle that's more affordable. This is exactly what Rivian wanted. This is exactly what their customers wanted, and Rivian is willing to offer these vehicles. This is really, really cool. This is the California mode, where the rear window can actually be lowered. It's got built-in spoilers, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but this vehicle has built-in spoilers at the rear. Again, really good for aerodynamics. Over 330 miles this vehicle can cover. That's really amazing. And this is being targeted towards the USA customers. So I'm not surprised that it has a lot of availability in mileage. This is exactly what they need to offer people, so people feel as comfortable as possible in purchasing these vehicles. Look at that. That's still a big vehicle. That is still a big vehicle. It's not small in the slightest. But what they are is significantly more affordable. This gives Rivian plenty of time to improve the software that they currently have on the R1S and R1T. This gives them time to improve anything that needs fixing. This vehicle also comes with a glass roof. I don't know how this vehicle will be this cheap. For $45,000, this is considered quite cheap, because they could have easily said, okay, it's $55,000. But they're trying to offer something that is significantly more affordable. They realize that this is where their market is. This is really where their market is. They're trying to streamline these production numbers, and that's going to work really well for the company long term. So there's a closer look. It's got a huge light bar at the back. It's got those spoilers, the built-in wings at the top, the window at the rear that can be lowered. That's quite incredible. I can see lots of people really liking this vehicle. Not to mention the price. It's cute. It's not ugly in the slightest. It's a cute vehicle. It's really adorable. It's really roomy. This is great. I wasn't there in person, but I wish I was. So just before I leave you today, just to let you know, by the way, the stock has exploded in Rivian's favor. It's been up over 10% today. It's risen over 10% today. That's really impressive. That's exactly what we're looking for, hope, for the Rivian company. There's a lot of rumors. Now that Apple has given up on their car project, could Apple really, truly buy Rivian? It's a real possibility. If they do buy Rivian, please keep the name. That's all I'm asking. Please keep the Rivian name. It's actually in Apple's favor to buy Rivian because it's a cheap company. This company is really undervalued. And think of all the benefits that Apple could bring to this company. The problem is, if Apple bought Rivian, Rivian would not be a public company anymore. I'm almost certain. Rivian will certainly become under the Apple umbrella, which means that if you want to invest in Rivian, you have to invest in Apple. That's not a big issue. In fact, it would bring overall more value to the Apple company. So it makes sense. But that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. This is the perfect SUV under 50 grand, under $50,000.